Welcome, everybody, once again to the 2015 USA Curling National Championships from Kalamazoo, Michigan, and Wing Stadium. We've plugged the hole, and the ice box is just a bit warmer here. And it's also warm because alongside me is Jerry Gertz from Curling Zone and producer B.A. Brian Anderson. We have a feature matchup this evening between Brady Clark and John Shuster. Let's meet the teams.
Hi, I'm Brady Clark. My lead is Matt Berklid. Second, Nick Myers. Third, Greg Persinger. And fifth, Philip Tilker, along with coach Ken Trask.
I'm John Shuster, skip a team Shuster. My lead is John Landsteiner. Second, Matt Hamilton. Third, Tyler George.
Looks like Schuster's got the beats going on in the background there. A little bit of...
I think it's a little Barry White, actually. But, yeah, the teams are having a little fun in the background with them.
Big game here for both these teams. Schuster looking to keep his advantage, top of the leaderboard. Only one loss thus far. Brady Clark, tough start, 0-4 to open, but he's strung together 3 big wins, and he needs to win this one to keep that trend going.
So in the other matchups tonight, or this evening, we've got Team Corbett versus Team McCormick on sheet A. That's a big matchup for both teams. Both sitting at 4-3, can give themselves a leg up on any other challengers if they could win that game.
Yeah, a win puts one of those two teams into contention for the 1-2 game. The other one will be fighting out for a potential tiebreaker or 3-4 spot.
And Craig Brown is over on sheet B against Ethan Myers. Ethan playing this game, had been out the last 2 games with some illness.
Dr. Double, John Landsteiner, coming at you.
Teams are real interested now when I go down and mic them. When are they going to be on? When are they not going to be on? Is there a light that lets them know that they're on?
Yep.
Well, Tyler's playing up to the to the TV a little bit, giving John Landsteiner a little bit of a nickname here. Call him Dr. Double. I believe that was Rich Ruonen who was Dr. Double. The kind of bit of joke about it is the fact that leads never get to throw hits, let alone doubles. So.
Right. So over on sheet D, that's going to be our secondary sheet. You have Dean Gemmel versus Corey Dropkin. Dropkin needs some help. He can still alive. He just needs to win some games.
And
hope
for
that some teams drop back to him.
Yeah, and for him, he can certainly bring one of those teams back in the Gemmel team. Right now, it looks like if Dropkin can beat Gemmel, 4 losses will be alive for some sort of a tiebreaker game because, of course, Corbett is playing McCormick right now.
Right, exactly.
So definitely a key game for Dropkin. He does have it in his own hands now. The 4-loss team still can control their own destiny for the most part.
So one of those 4-loss teams is Hlupchuk, and he's over on sheet E playing Paul Pustovar. Pustovar at 2-5. I don't think he's mathematically eliminated, but he's just about on life support there.
Yeah, I think he's given a couple away that he probably would like to have back, and they're likely playing spoiler at this point, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I can maybe do a little bit of math on the draw as we go here and see where things lie as well.
Yeah, I think he would need a bunch of teams to meet him at 4-5.
All right, Matt, that's fine.
Yeah, it really comes down to the last draw, who plays who, and as long as some of those teams are playing other ranked teams, for example, Schuster beats Gemmel. Gemmel could drop to 5 losses. This is the final draw, of course. Clark could be dropped to 5 losses by Myers. Corbett could be dropped to 5 losses by Pustovar. McCormick could be dropped to 5 losses by, or Hlupchuk, McCormick play each other, so there's a possibility of another 5-loss team there. And then, of course, Dropkin playing Brown. Brown can win and put Dropkin to 5. So just looking at it basically right now, it's certainly still alive that 5 losses is in play.
Yeah, it's mathematically possible, but a lot has to happen, and
a lot of things that aren't necessarily expected to happen either.
In this game, we've got some rocks in play early, which has not been the norm in a lot of these games. Schuster has the hammer here in the first end. He's got a corner guard, but Clark is drawn around. I believe, sitting 2 now.
A little less.
Lot of room.
This is Matt Hamilton. Matt was begging for a microphone when I got down there.
Lot of room. 7. Let it die. Let her die. Line's getting better.
Some of these good guys are good storytellers out there.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Hard. Okay, whoa now. Whoa. Good.
Looking for the freeze. Pretty nicely done. It stays above the tee, around that corner guard. Brady's going to have to corner freeze on it. If you like rocks in play, these two teams sure to deliver. So Nick Myers looking to come around here. I'm sorry, that's not Nick. That's
Worst shot. Okay.
it's Greg
Still wanna go
Persinger.
back in here?
Yeah, as long as we're counting.
Do that or try to go here, I guess, but you go right back in.
Tyler George looking to come down again. It's out turn draw
Line's good.
Easy then.
over and over and over again.
Not 6. Right here, boys. Lot of room.
Line's good.
Go if you need to. Line's great. Oh, yep. Whoa, then whoa.
Doesn't want to
Boy,
bounce.
Ty, beauty.
Nicely done. And Schuster sits 2 now. Brady gonna have a tough time here, giving up less than 2.
Good read, guys. A lot of it. He can't come around and hit it.
So both these teams, Jerry, are non-high performance teams, sort of self-funded, out on tour quite a bit.
Yeah, certainly something that they need to find a way to get to events. Both Clark and Schuster played quite a bit. The Schuster team did post some good results in Canada, and it's put them in position to challenge for the world spot.
Yeah, they're the points leader going into this event. And Clark has amassed some points too. He needed a lot of help in order to be with Team World, Team USA. If they were to win this event, they would have needed some help from the top teams.
Yeah, I believe they need the top 3 to all finish outside the top 3.
Right.
Schuster, McCormick, and Brown. And I think at this point, that's probably not going to happen.
Not likely at this point, as both Schuster and Brown are atop the standings. They both have to kind of fall off the earth here to finish outside the top 3.
Hard!
But these teams, they rely on sponsorships.
Hard, gotta bounce this. Hard for the bounce. Little bounce, hard.
And Schuster winds up a little short, trying to get around that rock in the top 12. Brady looking at his options.
Really curled too.
I think this is Brady's first stone of the end. So that opened up now. Brady has a chance to try to remove one of the Schuster stones, maybe both. Looking like they're playing on their own stone to remove Schuster stone that's sitting on the tee line. Throwing peel weight. Brady with the backswing.
Yep.
Hard. Really hard. Whoa.
Catches this top thin. He might make something real good. And if he would have ever just, he did call it off at the end.
Yep.
I think he saw it. If it just curled another, quarter of an inch, he would have rubbed that yellow one first. And then the shooter would have likely been gone, but he would have been lined first and second shot.
Yeah, he was. I think he saw that as a plan B, but he had to smoke it. He threw it with plenty of weight.
He really originally wanted to hit that first stone. The one he did hit, he wanted to hit it a lot thinner to try and get that spin, right?
I think he was hoping to spring his underneath that Schuster stone.
Weight should match, but yeah. Looks like a curl. No, it looks like a curl a little bit.
Which one do you like? Which one are you playing out of hand, John?
I'm gonna the top one.
You're playing it here?
Yeah, but I'm gonna aim for T line. If it's short of T, we'll go to even. If it's past, we'll go deep. Middle of the 8 foot.
Okay, tell him to talk to me then.
Yeah. No, we need full 8 foot to be. I'll count them. So, but we're either gonna. It's either got to be full 8 foot on the top to almost biting 4 foot, so it's above the other one, or all the way, like full back, at least full back 4 foot. So you guys read 6 out of hand. Just take it to get it to an 8. That's all. Okay. Sound good? So we're looking 5'10" still. 5.
Line's good. Yep.
Hard.
Line's good.
Looking to come around those two staggered
Line's
rocks in the 12
Right
foot.
here. Right here. Yep.
Yep. Go. You can bury it over here.
Yep. Hard.
It's walking sideways,
Whoa.
just around the guards,
Really good.
evened up with the other. Nice shot.
Nice read, guys.
Yeah, really nicely played shot in there.
It's good. So hard. Yeah. Jesus. No, mine was not an anomaly.
So Clark is going to have to play a long hit and roll, get underneath all that cover.
9.5. You want 9.5?
Yeah.
So yeah, just a little heads up for visual graphics.
I'm going to throw 9.5. I think the spot's moving.
Schuster is throwing the
Yeah, but keep the brooms down unless we call off. Like, this is a spot that...
Although looks like Brady has got the yellow rock in front of him right now, which is the wrong stone. So BA does have the colors right. It was Brady's team who was setting him up to fail, I think. So Schuster with the hammer. There's 2 rocks to come yet. 1 red, 1 yellow. A little bit of a fake out here.
Stop looking at the rock colors.
So the rock colors are right.
Off. Still off.
Brady trying to make a hit and roll. This has got to walk over quite a bit.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to hit nose at best here.
Rolls it in for shot, but at least I think it might be shot. It might be second.
We shot.
Draw.
We shot for sure. Let's just draw. Which for sure.
Yeah.
That's definitely all, yeah.
Let's draw. Okay. Unless the guys like to hit, but let's draw.
I don't care either way.
Same room. You guys all right with the draw? Yeah. No, but that was, swept in weight, so should be good. Yeah. The one thing is, we have to go early. We might have to have you on the inside because if this thing hangs on
I
it.
gave you a hair more because we can't nestle up to that.
We can't nestle up? Okay.
No.
Final stone here, first end.
Tight on line if you can.
Schuster lying a single, drawing for his second
lots.
point.
Yep.
Yep.
Schuster 6-1 coming into this game.
Hard! Hard, boys, go! Whoa.
They need a little chip here to redirect.
Oh my God.
Apologizing before it even came to rest.
That's going to be 2 for Schuster, taking a 2-0 lead after 1. Brady Clark will have the hammer going into the second. So many generous donors from the curling community contributed to ensuring the 2015 USA Curling Nationals were available to you through this web stream. At this time, we'd like to recognize a few of the donors who contributed to the program with a gift of $1,000 or more. Thank you to Robert Bridgman, David Flippo, Dean Gemmel, Rich Lepping, Ben Tucker, Russ Lemke, and Bill Peskoff. So, taking a quick look at the scoreboards, looks like McCormick scored one, stole one in the first, and Corbett now has the hammer in the second. I think it was a blank end over on sheet B, where Myers and Brown are facing off. The score hasn't been hung up over there in Dropkin Gemmel. Gemmel had the hammer over there. I know in his first he flashed a hack weight hit.
Sorry about that, Brady.
And working on a score over there on sheet E. They're in the second end.
6.
Hanging it now.
Oh, wait. You were throwing this in warm-ups. Throw this one. Sorry, Lance.
And over on sheet E, let's see what they do. Too many people in the way. 2 for Pustovar.
Our line's way out there, so switch it.
So
and get
Pustovar
back.
takes a 2-0 lead over Holupchuk, and we're off and running.
Holy balls, that thing going backwards. Timed out right to the top. 8 foot. Come on. You move.
So if you joined us this last draw, the noon draw, you noticed that we have our 4 playoff teams on the women's side. Now we're just fighting for playoff position in the next draw. So Eileen Sormanen, Erica Brown, and Corey Christensen all at 7-1. Patty Link at 6-2.
And Christensen plays Lank in the final draw.
I believe that's
and,
right. Yep.
Sormanen plays
Burt, and Brown plays Roth.
So hypothetically, they could all end up at 7-2.
That's true.
And then a whole mix of other potential options as well.
Yep. But the remaining teams with Nina Roth on, Nina's at 4-4. They're all eliminated at this point.
Yep. Just a 3.
John Landsteiner throwing lead stones here for the Shuster team.
Tight, though. I don't want it
Pride of Mapleton, Minnesota. Originally grew up curling out of the Heather Curling Club there. John was a bit of a late addition to the Shuster team, even though he curled with John last season. 5th player Trevor Host started the year with the team, and he's here. He's here helping the team. He's been out late at night throwing rocks and scouting stones on all the sheets, so he's still a big part of this team. And John added Landsteiner to the lineup about a month and a half into the season.
Come on.
Of course, Landsteiner and Shuster played together in at the 2014 Olympics in Sochi as well.
Come on. Matt, make sure you're positive about both of them.
So well hidden under the guard.
Talking like an inch, right? Try the runner. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Deal.
So Matt Hamilton with the
Whoa.
encouragement of a positive release. Sweep it early. Nicely done. Leaves that guard out there, though, and Clark can come around it again.
So Nick Myers, the late addition to the Brady Clark team, added for this week. Phil Tilker with work commitments wasn't able to, put all that time into this event. So they called in Nick Myers to pinch hit.
Off.
Nick's kind of been one of these guys who you see at the Nationals most years. He's always playing with different teams.
Solid curler. I think he lives in Texas now. Yep.
Yeah,
And,
so it probably makes it hard for him to actually compete on a regular basis.
Yep.
But if he gets out, throws some practice rocks, gets the feel back, he's the kind of player that can pick it up pretty quick and make a lot of shots for a team.
I'm sure he's very dangerous in arena national championships.
Close, yep. Whoa, yep. Hard, right to a tie. Roll that one.
Another run back.
Good job, Ham.
Jeez.
The hammer hits it again.
Please, hammer, don't hurt him. Nick Myers gonna have to draw around again.
Yep. Gotta go line. Gotta go line. All right, line's good now. Tight if it's a 3-4. All right, we're good. We're good on line. A little bit further. I want to be a little bit further. Make this run a little further. Come on.
So,
Yep.
Nick again, another draw. Nice come around.
Nice sweep, guys.
Somehow Nick Myers finds a way to tweet and play at the same time. I'm sure someone's got a hold of his Twitter account. So this is Tyler George looking for another run back. Just misses. So Brady can come around the center guard. He can put one.
Here, Greg.
You can go wide outside too.
Wide.
I like this even better.
Yeah.
It's either that or you can go here.
Whatever you like.
The wide open house. I think it does make sense to kind of play open here.
You want to go open, but you don't want to go too far open. I think key is here. You want to keep this in the 8-foot T-line, maybe behind the T-line, but half in the 8-foot, because that other red stone on the other side, Shuster will have the option to play a little hit and roll under that corner guard, and you want to make sure that this stone outcounts that hit and roll.
Easy, guys. He's got to be even. I'd prefer these be even. Whoa, I want it in front of the tee. Want these even. All right.
Yep.
All right.
Easy.
That's good.
That's probably good enough. The
We're
hit,
gonna go off this one.
the hit and roll behind the other one doesn't outcount the shot just thrown. And as you heard Brady saying, he was preferring in front of the tee line not to leave the long double, which was accomplished as well.
Yep. Whoa. Yep.
So Tyler George looking for a hit and roll.
Hard. Whoa. Lance, hard.
Whoa!
Boy, Ty. Sit.
Pops
Again.
out the other side.
Again, this is a good time for patience as well.
You like
Keep
board?
that hit and roll in
Hand
play
roll.
as shot stone.
What?
There are times
roll
you
it.
kind of want to sell out on that hit and roll where you
Back.
want to really go for it because
Okay.
staying out in the
Back
open
it.
doesn't make
Okay.
sense. This is a situation where you want to make sure you have to make Brady make a hit and roll back. And where he sits now, Brady's going to come down, a little bit of a, looks like a hack waiter hit and roll. It's going to be behind the tee line though. So for Shuster,
Wall it
he
up.
will have an out then there too. And there may even be a potential double available because of where these stones lie.
Yeah, I think he's looking to roll outside just a little bit, but this is running on Greg Persinger.
And here's the mistake. Because Tyler was able to keep his shooter in play as shot stone, forces Brady to have to make a hit on it, and sometimes you get a half shot miss. At this level of the game, you can't expect zeros. It's the teams are too good to get full misses out of,
I'll look.
but
If tighter
it's the
than
half
that,
shot
okay.
misses that you can play towards and try and set up and end with, and that's exactly what happened here.
Good. You guys okay playing this turn? For the other turn? Okay. I didn't put the broom. Go this way. Put the broom in.
Normal?
So
Yeah.
Clark sitting one.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Schuster second shot in the back.
No, just normal.
Gemmel got his single in the first end. They're playing the second over on sheet D.
Yep.
Whoa!
Oh.
Whoa!
Close. Yep.
Whoa!
Yep.
Yep! Yep!
Hard. Oh, clean.
Whoa,
Clean.
whoa,
Spot.
All right.
So now the depth of that second stone is kind of important. Brady can't hit and roll under the guard. He's going to have to try to draw around the center now.
Yeah, there's no point playing a hit for Brady. You may as well use that center guard. Try and draw around. It's a lot easier to draw to a place than it is to hit and roll to a place. And for Brady, a well-played draw here, anywhere from half into the top of the 8-foot, fully buried around that center guard to top of the 4, gives him a great chance to get 2 here. Again, you may see some teams in the clubs hit an open stone here, try and make that roll. Part of that is, your confidence in your draw weight might not be so much. You don't necessarily want to be drawing against 3 on your last one. But you see a team here like Clark.
Good. Room.
Where are we?
He's pretty comfortable. He's going to put it close.
Whoa, then.
Yeah, you can't, at this level, you can't sort of skip out of fear.
Top 4.
That's certainly true. Weight looks pretty
Come on,
good here.
Dominic,
Line looks real
4 foot.
good.
Full 4.
Whoa.
Full 4. Come on.
You don't want to over curl.
Come on. That's good.
Whoa,
That's good.
whoa,
That's good.
whoa.
That's good.
Yeah, just a little bit overswept there. I think they had the read right. They leave that about a foot shorter. It'd be fully buried or close or more buried,
Yeah.
and still sitting in the shot position.
So probably from the right-hander's hack. Probably got a good quarter of this, maybe a little more.
And for Shuster, he just needs to make it go away. Doesn't need to stay here.
Yeah, that's all we need. So if we threw control, we might be able to jam. That's a quarter. That's plenty for me. Yeah.
Whoa. Yep.
Yep.
Hard.
Hard. Whoa.
Yes. Hard. Hard.
Clean.
Nicely done.
Could have kept sweeping, I suppose.
I think the concern was the jam in the back at the end of the day. That didn't miss the back stone by very much.
No. They've had some interesting discussions back and forth during shots about whether to sweep or clean or get off.
Yeah, it's been an interesting mix, the George and Shuster
combination
this season. They're both pretty strong personalities. They've both skipped for a long time out of and play out of the Duluth Curling Club league there. And it was interesting to see when they paired up. I think skill-wise, it's a good fit. There's been some ups and downs this season, some successes and some struggles, and looks like this week they've got it going together very well.
Yeah, for all the back and forth, the results are there. 6-1 atop the leaderboard here.
And to be honest, I think Tyler's game is perfect for his touch game is perfect for the style of game Shuster likes to call.
Right, I do think that works pretty well together. So Clark gets his one, and going into the third end, John Shuster will have the hammer and a 2-1 lead. Who's the best on Wall Street or in all of corporate Manhattan when it comes to curling? We're going to find out at Chelsea Piers March 12th and send the winners home with a cool new trophy that will back up their bragging rights. USA Curling is planning to hold the first Manhattan Curling Cup at Chelsea Piers on Thursday, March 12th. This unique experience is limited to 20 teams and includes coaching and instruction with Olympian Pete Fenson and Jessica Schultz, plus USA Curling honorary team captain Vernon Davis, 2-time Pro Bowl tight ends for San Francisco 49ers. At its core, this is a fundraiser to support America's up-and-coming and elite curlers dedicated to putting USA Curling back on the top of the podium. But
Two's fine as well. 2 or 3.
But it's also an exclusive opportunity for you to bring your business partners and colleagues out for an evening in camaraderie with just the right mix of competitiveness. Along with dinner and refreshments, every participant will also receive their own customized carbon fiber curling broom. Get all the details at usacurl.org. Look for the link to Curling USA I'm sorry, curling in NYC. Excuse me.
Three's
So
great.
we're right back to the action here. Clark looking for a tight center
You
guard.
just don't want us to clean it in, though. Okay. All right. That's fine.
Nicely accomplished by Matt Berkland.
One.
So John Schuster, which is his MO seems to be when it's tight center guard, we're just going to come around it. Not going to really establish a center guard, or I'm sorry, a corner guard. Just going to come around it.
Schuster is one of the teams on tour I know will call the
Time don't just top the button. So.
behind the tee line on purpose shot here.
Okay, Steiner.
All right, lads.
This one stops
Good
just
for you
above
to
the
throw it
tee.
here. Let them put it here. Easy. All right, need to get it here. Get it here now. Line's getting tighter. Come on. Big rock. Hard. Got to be down here. Got to be down here, guys. Come on, we're real tight. Come on, it's got to be down here. Yep, hard.
Real nice sweep there by the front end. Matt Berkland
Steiner. Let's see.
lines up top 8 foot.
We swept it pretty good. Yeah, that might be a little more.
Clean.
Gotta
Stay
dig.
Stay close.
Coming down.
Yep,
Coming down.
line.
Weight's really good.
Hard.
We're there.
Hard. Hard. Really gotta go. Hard, hard, hard.
These rocks are warping in pretty good now.
Whoa.
Saw a little straightening earlier in the day, but
That boy, Lance. Nice pair, buddy.
Steiner draws it right down to the face of that stone that was just thrown by Berkland. Now Clark looking to
Put here. Them take it there.
we're going to come down to shot rock. Get on the corner.
Easy. A lot more room. A lot more room. Cleaning. Yep. Yep. Hard. Real hard.
The break seems to be coming a little sooner now.
Hard. Come on, get it past that one.
Hey, oh, babe. Where we going?
So
I mean, you could be as close as you want here and even bump this out of here. Fine. Troll. Try to get in here.
Schuster asking the hammer to hit and roll.
Close. Yep. Yep. Hard. 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 Never off. Never off. All the way to yellow. Go, 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 go. It's okay.
Okay.
Clips makes the takeout. Rolls his 2 even and separated. Might have been better than what was called. Brady's in a heap of trouble here.
Don't we have to hit something?
You can do this. Fine. 10. 10.
Nick looking to make a hit and roll. Get back to
Easy,
center.
guys.
Cut off some of
Yep.
that 4 foot.
Yep, gotta go. Come on. Come on. Nothing on the roll. Stay with it though, man. Yep, yep.
Pretty decent result. It's got some things lined up on Shot Rock
I
now.
honestly think we probably got to do this, truthfully. 'Cause that just, I mean, they're both sticking. We can run if you want and get rid of two of them. You ever go over the top with it though, and there's gonna be 3 reds and none of us in here. We can also play this too, honestly. It just walks in.
You could try to pick the second red.
What?
You could try to pick the second red with the run. I said you could try to pick the second red with the run. No, with the run.
With the run?
He's
See what I'm saying?
talking
Though,
about
if you get inside
picking
nose on the run, we're just
second
gonna do
run.
line 3 kind of deal. So.
Yeah, it's pretty slim.
What's that? Yeah, you can. There's, yeah, I mean, as long as you hit inside anywhere, it's hitting one of these.
Well, in here, and he's.
It's gonna, but it's staying here. I mean, he's still gonna have to angle it when we just play the run to get out of the end. That's all.
All right.
The only thing we can do is do this.
That's fine.
Hey,
No, that's good.
But do you like this at all, though? But this rolls off and we're hosed
Yeah,
again. We gotta play.
it's a bad spot to roll to.
Yeah. Peel, Hammy.
So you heard all the different options. And
Turn preference.
looks like they're going to come off their own
Hit.
stone, try to bounce off of that into the top there, maybe get a couple things moving. Right now, the rock that's hurting them the most is probably their own, so you have to unlock it a little bit.
Oh, clean. Yep. Oh, clean, clean. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. All right, that's okay.
Spread some things out a little bit, but Shuster remains just one. Things a little better for Clark now, but Clark's going to have to make a play on that one sitting in the, or biting the 8-foot. It's very easy to run that in and make some things disappear.
Ten. 10.
So Greg Persinger looking to hit and roll.
Whoa. Whoa if it's up. Don't hit it if it's up. I got to get a roll. Ah, nose is fine. That's fine. Good throw. That works.
So what looked like a great situation for Shuster just a little while ago. Changed up a
I
bit.
don't think, I mean, you got to be pretty tight to make that.
You know, like that one?
Yeah, probably. Troll.
Oh, I thought you were playing a double.
What?
I think Schuster's just looking for a hit and roll, not necessarily a double.
Whoa. Close.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa. Off. Off. Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe better. I don't know.
You like this, Greg?
Okay. Sure.
So I'm going to draw around, try to get into the 8-foot.
Off then. Got to be right off then.
Clogging up the 4-foot area.
Yep. Come on. I don't want to set up a double here. Yep. Got to go. Got to get by this one. Got to get by this one. Yep. 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 All the way. All the way.
So interesting result. Kind of clips off their own, rolls into the button area.
Let's you like coming down and just tapping it.
All right.
You like that? Raw?
Sure.
Hit. Back, just natural tee.
So when they say natural tee, they mean throw it as if it would stop on the tee on its own.
Little bit
and then
early.
sweep the rest of the way.
Whoa, then. Whoa! Whoa! Off! Right off.
So looks like a little more than tee.
Close, though. Yep! Yep! Whoa! Yep! 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 Whoa! Whoa! Whoa. Matt, roll that one.
Clips
We had
it.
to try that. That's good. It's fine.
But Brady Clark's still sitting shot rock. Could probably freeze one to the lid there.
We like right here. He's gonna have this then. What does he do if we go right here? What does he do? And if we're right here, this isn't there.
Right.
We just can't. I think we're better off being. Well, God. Well, we're not, because then he can punch it. If he gets it just thin enough, I think it goes through. He might even be able to rattle it off of that one. I think we have to play this. You think so?
Yeah.
I think if this is over curling, we could chap off this, but if we chap off this, this is going to move set up to 7, and then he's going to have that run. So I think we got to be out here and try to get in there.
Okay.
I think there's a
Either
lot
that
of
or
good.
come off the 4.
There's a lot of good places here Brady can be, I think, that they don't necessarily realize.
What do you think here? I've been taking about here and we've been crossing. I don't want to take too much, but I can't take, because I don't want to bump that 4. See anything else?
If you're
Can we just guard?
in the
What if we
8
guard
foot, just top 8 foot, that's can't be too bad, right?
Yeah, he's contemplating the guard now as an option. So, you know, anywhere in line with the button.
Yeah.
You know, obviously the biggest issue, he can't be heavy, chap off and leave any kind of double or something like that. But if you ever corner froze right in there, it's going to be very hard to remove.
And I like that shot. There is an in off on the 12 foot that he has to be a little concerned about if he throws some sort of guard. So it's got to be something that he would have access to bump in.
20. What is 20 out of hand? Okay. Got to get it there then. Lionel, come in there. Come on. Come on, let's go, Matt. Yep. Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
This looks a little light.
Whoa, whoa. What did I throw?
Is our shooter going to be here for you to just freeze in here and score, though?
I don't know if you'd rather do this. I think you save that, though.
Yeah, but, well,
Of course, he might have that.
right. Well, not, I mean, even if we, yeah, he might have it too.
Then it's into the pocket to sit.
Right.
Bundle.
And I could just,
You could just
I
draw
can't-
it now, and then you got that on the last.
yeah. How much you got inside here? Like there?
You want to make him make something, or you want to?
I mean, even if I hit it, if I get in here anywhere, even if I nut this, is better than we are, isn't it? I think we probably play this. I don't need to play it crazy hard either if we don't want to.
What if you just threw it to here? Then he can't take away the run.
I know, but
and
but we have to move this rock to score though. If we don't get it
I know.
all the way in here.
Okay, you throw this to here, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have the in off now, right?
Yeah.
On the top of the button. He can't take away this little slash and this in off. You got 2 shots.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's do that.
All right.
So just for the lid.
I like this call a
Not
lot.
under the rock.
Right here.
Just set up
Right
some
there.
future
Let's take
options.
You can actually, John. You can bring it all the way into here.
Yeah, yeah.
It just,
for sure.
It's just then he can take.
Yeah.
I think you just throw it right to here for
Yep.
now. If it ends up, it's good.
Yeah.
The problem with just throwing the run back right now, if he was ever to
He
roll
makes the freeze, we can't even
a
get it.
little too far across right into the side of his, kick it over a foot or so, he'd actually leave a pretty much a gimme short run there for Clark to run that stone sitting at about 11 o'clock on the rings there into the other red one and set a pile. So, yeah, this is the call here. It sets up Shuster for his last and protects from being in big trouble here.
Yeah.
Yep, hard line. Hard.
You know,
Hard, gotta go line.
Shuster wants to make sure he doesn't face 2 or 3 on his last here.
Hard! Hard! Hands down and go! Hard! 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 Hard!
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Oh, no,
whoa,
whoa. Maybe.
whoa, whoa.
That is not good.
No. It's a pretty not good result there. The double there could leave Clark sitting 2.
Once they knew that was going to crash on their red, they really had to do a better job of reading that and coming up with a better plan B. This is pretty much a quarter stone, 1/3 stone gimme double here. Catch that one about 1/3 of a stone straight across. If they're ever able to come across and stick it right on the top of the button there, Schuster's going to be facing 2 on his last.
He'd probably have to play that in off.
And he'll have to play it very carefully as well because he wouldn't want to take his own along with it.
Right.
Great opportunity here for Brady Clark to put some pressure on John Shuster.
Yep.
Clark with the in-turn.
Hard. Whoa, whoa. Yep. Yep. Hard. Hard. Hard.
Looks pretty good.
Great shot.
Oh, nice shot there.
And what that also does too, leaves a little catcher on the outside.
I don't know. Well, yeah.
So don't need the slash here.
They're going to come off their own. Again, tricky little shot here. They want to make sure that they're not out here. You definitely don't want to be wide at all. The other problem is so that leads you to being, okay, you know what, I want to make sure half a stone, I want to make sure I'm not wide. The tendency is to be a little bit tight. If they ever over curl, they'll touch that rock top of the 12-foot, which can come back into the stones there and might jam and give Clark 3 here.
Yep.
So want to throw this shot pretty precise here.
Hard! Right to it! Right to it! Right to it! Right to it! Right to it!
Comes off the back.
Still get 2?
I think mission accomplished at the end of the day.
I think they got just the one.
Yeah, only a single steal there for Brady Clark. I think Shuster gets away with one there a little bit.
So if you want to reach Jerry in the booth, you can do that very easily. You can hashtag us at 2015 Nats or post on the 12th End Sports Facebook page. If you had a question for Jerry or if you want to show us from where you're watching our coverage from, we love to see pictures. Here's a picture. We lost our interview beanbag. We gained 30 degrees in the booth. Worth it. And that beanbag is up in the corner. We had to cut off the draft that we were having earlier, and that was the most efficient way to do it. So
smart thinking, a little bit of MacGyver work in here.
We bring duct tape everywhere we go. So the booth is quite a bit warmer than it was earlier. Poor Pete Fenson, I think, is looking for firewood. So Fake Dave Stavatag checking in. So if you're clever, got a picture, there's a good chance you'll wind up on the webcast if you use that hashtag.
You can also throw @CurlingZone in there if you are so inclined. Get a retweet from us as well. covering scores from several other national championships going on this week as well. Of course, in Canada, we've got the Scotties Tournament of Hearts that I'm sure many of you are tuning into on ESPN3 here in the United States,
Keep it running.
along with, of course, the 12th End Sports Network.
I find a lot of people streaming these side by side, sending us pictures. It's a lot of fun to know that people are doing both at the same time.
And of course, in Switzerland, the men's and women's championships are being played there. Alina Petz, Silvana Tiranzoni, Michelle Yaki leading the way there. No surprises, really. Though last year's world champions, Binya Felcher, way down the ranking in the 6-team national. They're unlikely to make the playoffs at this point. And on the men's side, Sven Mikkel and Peter de Cruz challenging for the title there. They're at the top of the table as well.
It's going to overcurl, I think.
And Scotland playing their national championships this week too. You
Whoa,
got Eve Muirhead has actually lost 2 games already in Scotland. She lost
How many
2.
games are they in?
Yep.
It's a 6-team double round robin with
Okay.
a page playoff at the end of it. And she lost an early game to Gina Aitken. And then she just lost one to, I believe it was Hazel Martin. Gina Aitken's team is a junior team. I think Hazel Martin was the WUGS team, the World University Games team that played for Scotland. So a couple of young teams challenging there. And then the men's side, we've seen some interesting results out of that field already. A pretty wide mix at the top. Tom Brewster's already lost 3 games in that field. I think Murdoch's lost 1 or 2. David Edwards and a guy by the name of Bruce Mowat is near the top of the standings. Another young team just out of juniors.
Depth of the world field just keeps getting deeper. So. So Landstarner's Rock just makes it over the hog. I think they were trying to hog it towards the end there, but it made it over. So now Myers gonna try to clog up things a bit more with that
Clean. Yep.
Clarkstone in the top 4 foot.
2, just to a 2. I'd like to let it swing in there. Finish it, finish it. Finish it, come on, let's go. Yep, 4.
So just an update in Canada and the Scotties. Marianne Arsenault out of Nova Scotia defeated Jennifer Jones this morning, and she leads Rachel Holman now too. So 2 of the 3 favorites being given a good game by Arsenault. Who's probably, you consider probably middle of the pack team, but you get wins against a couple of favorites that put you into the playoff chase.
Got a bunch of things moving here. The hammer.
Really, really good too.
So Clark gonna try to establish that center guard again. He's got a great rock to defend in the 4 foot there. If he can cut off most of, sort of bisect the center line there, he's going to be in pretty good shape, and Schuster's going to have to play another run back.
Don't jump it. You're going to have to finish this thing a lot. Yep, let's get going. Come on. Got to get all the way to center line.
When they talk about don't jump it.
Yep.
It's how the rocks react to sweeping at different parts of the delivery.
Different parts of the arc.
Exactly. So when they talk about jumping it, that means getting on and sweeping that stone early.
Sure.
The distance you add to the stone by sweeping early is somewhere in the neighborhood of probably about 30-40%. Your distance is really going to be added at the end. But what sweeping does early is it will straighten it and hold the line longer. So sweeping the first half of the distance
Right to it.
controls line more than distance. So if you want to, if you need a stone to curl to a certain point and you need to sweep it for weight, you still got to be a little bit patient sometimes and not push it out and straighten it out. Whereas that's what happened on that last stone there from Team Clark.
Right, and if you get swingy ice, you can, sometimes extend that distance, get around a guard that you're well wide of because of that same principle.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about weight on the first little bit nearly as much as line. So, if line is tight, but you're concerned about weight, hammer it early to get that thing straightened out, and then you can hopefully let the line take the curl take the weight out of it at the end.
So, hit it hard early. Hit it hard early.
See, here's a good example of that. They're going to
All
try
right,
to
line's
get
good
it
now. You said it. You're good.
well wide of
Good
these
now. Just
corner
let it work
guards to come around. So
now let it swing.
There we go.
Yep. The real question is it the right weight?
No.
On ice like this, especially when you get so much late curl, you can really add a lot of distance to it with that late curl.
The same thing up here?
Yeah.
So now that Clark has shown him the line, John's going to come around those corner guards also.
Okay, go then.
He's got the hammer with that
Just
Clark
got it by
rock
eight, but
going
water room.
deep.
Switch off if you can.
There's a lot of room to bury
There you
one
go.
here.
Go if you need to then. Go, yep. Whoa, then. All the way to it.
This one's
actually.
wider than the
hard.
Clark stone.
Hard, gotta be
See if they
fast.
can get it
Go.
back.
Go, get shot. Go.
Hard,
Go,
hard,
go,
hard,
go,
hard, hard,
Early,
hard. Go.
Just enough for shot.
Forget about this. Hey.
Throw back line.
Schuster seems to
think,
have a
right
lot of
here?
concern about the rocks that his players are playing. He's got to be reminded, he says, about which rocks are being played.
Clean. Oh. Yep. Whoa. Cleaning. Yep. Gotta go. Hard. That's not back line 9, 8. Jesus Christ.
So instead of getting around that guard, it clips it. Establishes another center.
I'm tempted to just go try to go here.
And here's a picture from Terry Kalesser
That guard's sitting high.
about Team Clark and
Same.
Brady, now forever
really.
be now known
There's
as
no
the
place to
commander.
go. I mean, unless you go way back here.
Had a trip to Moscow
Or up
just a
here,
couple
I
weeks
guess. It's
ago.
gotta be short, though. I kind of like this. As long as you keep it half open on the outside.
Is that hit and roll for him really easy?
What?
Is that hit and roll really easy for him? Is this hit and roll easy?
I mean, he's got to roll to it. I mean, he's got this wide to roll to.
All right, play this then.
All right.
I think the answer to Tyler's question is yes. Looks pretty easy compared to other shots he might have to make.
It's the kind of shot you can rope it all the way around and bury under the second set of guards here.
Yep.
Go around that high guard, through the
Through
across
the gap.
opening,
Yep.
across the gap. Well, we're going to go around the gap.
Already
Right.
on the other side.
Yeah, I know. Yep, then. Yep.
Not quite tight enough to the guard. They
Don't leave the double.
Keep going.
got to get this deep enough so it doesn't leave the double off the other one. At the end of the day, I think this was a poorly called shot. It it leaves this little hit and roll for Brady.
Feel?
They're really, it almost would have been better to go the other way.
Yeah, and I think that's what Tyler was sort of getting at.
Want a little more than that?
That Brady had, if they made this a little higher, which is sort of the intention, Brady had the hit and roll under all the junk.
Yeah.
And if you threw, on the left side of this, as we're looking at it now, when you wound up a little short, you're guarding your stone. If you get around it, you may not leave a double if you leave it high in the same sort of area.
Yep.
Make Brady throw this shot, and then maybe you have a shot through the middle.
Yeah. The other option could have been to take about 2-3 feet more ice and just try and sit half buried on the other side
Right.
of this guard, the
Leave
open
half,
side.
leave half the rock on the outturn side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or even sit in the open
Hard.
on the tee line, to be honest.
Real hard. Hard. Harder.
Brady can make a good one here. Unfortunately, he did not.
Almost clipped the backside of that stone.
Greg, taking a little extra ice.
So now he can make the same choice.
I mean, I had you here.
Unless you want to go to here.
No. Doesn't change anything for me, so let's go here. Ready.
It's got to basically touch 8s.
What's that?
It's got to basically touch 8s.
Yeah, that's all. Yep.
So taking a little more ice here.
Yeah, we're not going to play tight. Let's go edge 12. Yeah, okay. The top 8 foot? Okay. Ready, right off then. We're out a lot farther, so just stay with it.
Right to here.
Yep, for line. Okay, whoa now.
You got to get
By
to the
8
8
foot.
foot hard.
Need 8 foot.
Hard.
Need 8 foot, boys. Just 8 foot, though.
Your guys read.
Your read.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Less the better.
Oh, got to touch 8s.
Trying to double land. Yep.
Okay.
Thought about sweeping at the end. That last inch or two.
What? Yeah. Okay.
Looking at playing the double through the hole.
Firm.
It's there all day.
Again, same problem.
Yeah, over swept a bit.
Don't give
7.5.
the same team the same shot twice. And of course, Brady is throwing the same both shots as
Yeah,
well.
he's throwing, I think, through the outturn, I think, last time. He's throwing the intern this time.
Yeah, I think he didn't like the way that that outturn traveled down that
Yeah,
path. So
yeah.
change it up.
7.
Whoa.
Needs to curl.
Rutrow.
Gonna get a piece.
Shaggy.
Clips his own in the back. Doesn't remove it, but clips it.
Missed opportunity there for Brady Clark to clean up this mess. Schuster's going to have a draw for 2 now.
Yeah, it looked like she was going to go skidding by, and then she just made a break at the house.
Gonna need to touch the 8 foot in order to get this 2. Just through this shot should be pretty routine.
All you
Guys,
guys.
a little tighter. Okay, line's good. Line's good. Hit the tee line. Hit the tee. Hit the tee.
Can't hurt it.
Hit
Heavy
the tee.
clean. Heavy
Split the tee
clean.
in half, boys.
Heavy clean. Heavy
Hammer, you
clean.
can't hurt it.
Good, John. Nice shot.
Bring it in. There you go. 2 points for Schuster, and takes a 4-2 lead going into the 5th end. Are you a fan of curling? Do you want to know more about the sport of curling in the United States and receive regular updates about events and news from the curling world? Consider joining the USA Curling Fan Club. The fan club provides you with all the latest news and releases, as well as a subscription to the U.S. Curling News. Visit the website www.usacurl.org today to learn more. Joining us for the 5th end break, next end is going to be Coach Steve Brown, who just recently returned with Team USA at the World Wheelchair Championship. We'll find out how that event went. Talk to him maybe a little bit about his kids, who are both doing pretty dang well this week.
The center line's been moving all week. All right, we're moving.
Yeah, just rocket it down there. Just throw it to the like.
Somebody clean this thing early.
Still gotta go. What do you think? I don't know. I think it's
Yep.
taken.
Keep this thing moving.
Trying to bring this
Taking our best
Landsteiner
guys
stone
Yep,
into the
keep it
house.
moving. I can see it from here. It's pretty close. 15-22. Can't hurt it. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Far as it goes. Far as it goes. All right, Steiner. Good
Oh,
one.
that rock's terrible.
They don't like that that yellow stone from Landsteiner there. It's not Landsteiner's fault. It's the stone is a little bit different. Yeah, think about you kind of assume every curling stone's going to be the same.
Right.
You know,
They
fan at
look the
home.
same.
They all look the same. You know, they're manufactured on under a pretty consistent process. But the consistencies of the actual material, it's a stone after all, can have little different qualities to it throughout the granite. So sometimes you'll get a little bit harder spots in the stone. You know, you'll get a little bit of wear in stones, so
All right,
sometimes
now.
they'll wear a little
This
bit
one up.
differently. Some stones are played more than others, and so on. So you'll get little bits of differences. So sometimes it'll be they'll be a cutter, they'll call it. Means it'll curl a little bit more. It'll be a little bit of a slower stone. So for example, that stone may be what you could classify as a cutter. And it's a stone that
No
it's
kidding.
Right off for a second.
for some players they like a stone
Once it
like
cuts,
that
we can
because
go.
it will curl more and it's harder for the opposition to follow
right
them
off for a sec still.
on
Just let
on
it curl
draws, stuff like that.
But you got to know you
Yep,
have it,
yep.
so you have to identify it
Exactly.
and then give it to the right player at the right time.
A lot of times, some teams
playing those
some
two
teams
the
just
rest
want consistent stones. Like some players like throwing two stones out of the same.
Right.
So of
Back
course it's
line.
the lead who gets the
Back
two
gate's
pigs.
okay.
They call
Yeah.
them
Line back gate.
the worst set of stones. So a lead sometimes gets a little bit of a challenging pair of stones to play with, and that can sometimes affect their execution at the end of the day as well.
So
Yep.
Hack.
Yep.
Landsteiner has the two mismatched
Yep.
stones, it appears, and
Yep.
made two good ones.
Well.
Yeah,
attack.
really nice top
Well then.
top 8 stone, and then a center
Yep.
guard right in top.
Yep. Come on.
Here's Brady Clark with the tick shot here. Little rearranging of the stones. I think he wanted that to punch that behind that corner guard.
All right, big swing here.
Not quite exactly the way he drew it up,
No.
but still sits okay here for Clark.
Still looks tight.
Got a couple nice stones out front.
Yeah, we can clear easy.
That Schuster
Fine.
stone is on the back of the button now. It's still in a good spot for Clark to utilize in the future.
Sorry, bud. Five, six.
Good, clean. Clean. Room.
Weight's really good.
Clean.
Weight's really good.
Yep. Whoa. Whoa.
Top button.
Whoa. Right off.
Nice shot, Hams.
Boy, Hammy.
Atta boy.
Hamilton makes another nice shot. Brady, I think he's looking to go through the hole.
Come here and tap this back. Let's tap this one.
Oh, changed his
Back ball.
mind.
I really like this style of play from Brady Clark here. Just
Throw
kind
top
of
four out of hand.
using the stones in play, moving them back behind the tee line. It's quite all right if Schuster's still sitting shot at this point, but it's about building that wall of granite behind the tee line.
Yep. Clean. Hard clean. Yep. Gotta go. Our line's good. Easy. I want to tap this though. Whoa, Matt. Whoa, Matt. Not much. Just a little tap. I just want to. Good.
Back in again.
So the
I mean,
Clark
this is
stone
fine
winds
too,
up
Matt.
I think you're
in
just.
front of those
We're
two.
line two. I'm just saying.
Schuster
right here on
stones.
that side, okay?
You want to be
Right
in
in
front
here
of
is
it. You don't
perfect,
want to get to it.
It's in a spot Schuster probably doesn't want to rearrange it too much unless he can get to the inside.
Three.
Hard then. Still by. Hard!
Weight's really good.
Gotta go! Gotta go! Hard! Hard, hard, hard! Whoa.
Schuster just talking about a little bit of a break in that spot there. That lines up real well there for Schuster right now.
We tap this one. Otherwise, you tap this
Getting
one.
to the inside, angles that
four,
stone back
eight
out now.
hand.
And when I say angles it out, it means if they were to hit it on the top, the red stone would miss the yellow ones in the back.
So Brady's going to look to rearrange another Schuster stone.
Yep, gotta go
Stay.
for line. Where are we at?
7,
Clean.
8,
Clean. Clean.
9, 10.
Yep. Come on, gotta get that one by, Greg. Come on, get it by. Get it by. Get it by. Get it by. Come on. All right.
if we don't do some of this, he's gonna. So
Yeah.
we might have to. Unfortunately, lose this might not be the. I mean, you could still freeze here again, and he's trouble getting.
What if we just peeled that out and rolled out?
Peel this one and roll out.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Does he have anything
He's gonna-
besides this?
Well, probably not. And he can't really play it yet.
He
So.
can have that because we
All right.
still got to pile
Straight
in
peel
there.
then. Straight up.
You like that?
Yep.
Okay.
A couple pictures we can show you of this
Just peel that
game
red
during
one
the
off and
game,
just through, roll
courtesy of Rich
Straight
Armour.
off of this one, guys.
1-3.
I think there was a Corbett sighting there.
Yeah. A few extra pictures. Trying a few new things out. You'll notice the sidebar there with all the statistical
Easy, clean.
information
clean.
you'd ever want.
Yep. Clean, clean, clean. Just clean. Easy. Easy, easy, easy. Boy, that.
It's great for your fantasy curling league.
You know what? That's the kind of stuff that I've always envisioned curling would do more about. You know, for most fans, they don't want to hear about all these intricate stats being discussed all the time because it's, you know, it's more than what they, you know, comprehend for the most part. But you guys do a great job making them available for people watching. So if it's something they are interested in, they can kind of peek and take a look at them on their own.
Yeah, it helps us, frankly, not having to recap things like standings. And obviously, these are all available on Curling Zone, so you can get them there. But if you're watching the webcast and you have the opportunity, you can just kind of peek over every once in a while, see something that you might find interesting. So the commander is in trouble here. Staring at a lot of bananas.
Yep. Gotta go. Whoa, 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 whoa. My bad. Whoa, off. All right.
Move some more things around. Helps the situation a little. But Schuster sitting with 4 rocks in the full 8
I mean, we could jam it through the hole.
How much room is there?
A full rock.
Oh, really?
So if you hit it if you hit a third of a rock, it just goes through. And if you hit it just a tiny bit thicker, it probably still goes off the back side as long as you don't peel.
I'm good with that.
I mean, the only other thing, come to try to tap this, or even beak it.
Come on, Hammy. Let's go.
No, it's either. We could just beak it, Ty, too.
Whatever you like.
Let's just beak it.
Okay.
Yeah. Right on the nose. Troll. What do you think runs better?
Control.
Okay.
So just a quick score update. McCormick steals 1 in the 5th. Now leads Team Corbett 4-2.
Whoa, whoa.
Yep.
Yep.
Hard.
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 Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. Oh, right off. It's okay.
Really did want to get a little bit closer to the nose, even across the face there.
Yeah, I thought that'd take that big.
Leaves a pretty nice pocket here for Clark to use. Clark also sitting shot, top of the button. I think the shot here is corner freeze on one of those yellow stones.
I think we want to tap this back a little bit.
Yeah, I like
Move
that
it
call
just
too.
like a foot, maybe back 4.
Keep the line on the front so it's cornered on it.
Can still be corner froze and unlock something that's dangerous to him.
Yeah, that those 2 yellow stones right now on the left side of the screen, right side of the screen there, right side of the 4-foot. If you're ever able to tap one of those behind the 4-foot, it does create that, that little bit of backing for Brady to utilize later on as well.
Get it here. Come on, got to get it here. Come on.
Hard, guys. Come on.
Yep, come on.
Hard.
Come on.
Hard.
Hard. Clean, clean,
Oh.
clean, clean, clean.
Just came up a bit short.
Not going through here. It's just enough to bump this.
Or just blast that. Now that might not go. It'll probably pull him.
No, this will go. This is touching. This is going out. If we make contact with it.
I really don't like playing that.
What's that? No, we're not playing to the hole.
Just come right through the hole.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know that we want to tap it out, honestly. You just tap it to here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got plenty of room for that. If you're ticking off of this,
This
and
is not
right
bad.
Here, that's really good.
Yeah, so I'm just going to throw right there.
Back
8.
Back.
Yeah, back 8.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I really think Tyler
Tiny less.
and
Big
John
swing, it'll take the weight
work
off
really
of
well together in their game.
Yeah.
I think sometimes they both can be a bit stubborn, and shot calls sometimes when they're disagreeing with something, it's difficult. But typically they have the same mindset about the type of shot to play.
Right.
And you see this, you hear the way they're talking out there. It's almost like they're a little bit adversarial with each other.
It's a little like the Odd Couple.
Yeah.
It's but it works.
But they're arguing the same thing.
Right, exactly. No, I don't want to do that. Yeah, we know you don't want to do that.
Whoa! 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 Close! Whoa!
This is pretty close. Warping in there pretty good. Can it miss that guard?
Needs a bit of curl. Needs a bit of curl here. Real close. Does
Tick, tick.
Sorry, guys.
Did hit it a little bit too thick. Really need to curl about another inch more. He would have feathered in on top and not opened this hole up.
Yeah. So the question is, what do you do here?
Yeah, if this was last shot for Brady, it'd be a
just
pretty
draw
easy.
in there
It'd be a pretty easy call, right?
Yeah.
Draw and sit 1.
But if you draw in there now, I'm sure Schuster's blasting. Can you corner freeze where he's putting that broom?
I don't like that either, because I think if you corner freeze to that yellow stone, you can throw weight at it and pop it out.
I like this timeout. This is a really important shot.
Scary. I mean, right now, he doesn't have this. This isn't there, right? He'd have to play this, or he'd play this, right?
Yeah.
You have any
Think about
interest
it,
in
if he
playing a
plays this
double
route
off the one on the
here,
8-foot?
He could. I mean, if he hangs it.
There's a lot of ways to leave a double, though.
Yeah.
Right now, he could probably
Off
come
the 8-foot, if we get our friend BA to do a little drawing. The thought I think Joe had was to come off this high yellow stone here and redirect into the pocket.
Maybe sort of stay on top of that stone somehow and eject the one off the side 4.
Yeah, I think you'd almost need to. You'd almost need to throw big weight there to try and roll flat across.
What does this do? What does this do?
You need a big flat roll.
Yeah. Even if we go here and we slam this out, hit here. Well, I know, but if we can stick here.
They got to stick
here,
on a corner freeze on the front of that.
Is what you're saying? I'm just saying, if somehow I can get right to here and stick right there.
Yeah. The problem is that's not easy to do.
Yeah, that's
because you hit it a hair thinner, and you sit beside the yellow one, and it's a gimme double to pop them both out.
Right, exactly.
I really don't like this call, but I'm not sure there's anything better.
Yeah, I don't have anything better to put out there.
Would you ever consider drawing through that hole, trying to sit behind the red one.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
kind of
the other-
come through the hole
Right.
we gotta-
with
we gotta get
like
to
a
here,
like a
stay
back
out
button weight.
here.
Just kind of touch your own red
gonna have
one
the short
and
run.
kind of spin to the back of the forefoot.
Change the angle up a bit.
That's what we gotta do.
Maybe it stops the straight run.
Yeah, and if you ever feather off the top yellow one, you
that
may
the
be
right
able to
room?
spin it frozen to the.
Any more?
Want more?
If you ever spin off that yellow one, you may be able to flip it over and freeze to the outside
Yeah.
yellow one there. And it gives you, it gives you a couple stones in a position where you may be able to make one of those count plus an additional one later on.
Yeah. The important thing here is wherever his shooter winds up, he's got to leave himself something to use on his next, because he's got nothing really for two right now.
Yeah, I think a soft shot is really what you need here. Of course, if he makes this really well, if he can hit 7/8 of this stone that he's trying to hit with big weight, he can roll his shooter across and create that angle, that corner freeze angle on the top. Too thin, the end is over, and he may give up a bundle here if Shuster can make a double.
Pretty close.
That is a beauty.
That's pretty good.
I believe that does the job. Although, you know what?
If I just go hammered it right into the nose of this, though, is there any problem with that?
This one.
That's what I know. I'm just saying if we happen to just dead beak it, is he still going to have anything for?
Looks like this will accomplish the goal where Brady will have a draw to the button to score.
Yeah. This next shot should remove that
So we're
one
trying to hit like
and
half.
scoot the yellow one
Solid half.
to the left as we're looking at it now.
Unless you'd rather just play it to here.
Well, that's what I was saying. If we play it to there, does that do us any good?
Hurts us. These three will be in here still. None of them are going because this is going to pull to this.
Right. Like I said, I just don't want to have two of these go and leave him some kind of nose double for.
Yeah, if
two
he
or
was ever to
So,
over curl and
Play
actually
it to this.
crotch the red and the yellow, he could make
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If I just
two,
play this
maybe
to the nose, might
two
be
of the
just
yellows
a
go
tiny
away
bit
and
high
leave
side
two
might be
Clark
best.
stones
Yeah.
behind.
Just try to get it to like right here, yeah.
That's-
And it goes
yeah.
like this way.
If
out.
he
I
just
like that more.
if he runs that red and nuts it right on the red stone,
Here, I know.
sticks
That's
it on
the
there,
feel, eh? Yeah.
he'll actually drag that yellow back onto the red, and
Tiny bit less time.
it'll be
That's
that's
good.
that's the option to miss there.
Yeah.
Um,
And again, I think they were arguing the same shot.
exactly.
I'm going to
Yes, I
stop
know, that
calling
is
this
what-
thinking time. I'm going to start calling it argument time.
We can also go over the top of it. There's lots of ways to hit it as long as they stay high. So.
Yep.
Whoa.
Whoa. Yep.
Yep.
Hard.
Whoa.
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 Whoa. Yep.
Yep. Yep. No.
Hard.
Hard. Hard.
It's close.
Attaboy. That's good.
Did he leave double back?
He may have. Probably not. I think that's good enough. Yeah, you'd have to really paper by that top yellow stone on the top of the 12-foot to even have a chance. You probably have to throw it with a little bit of weight that might curl, but then you're not going to have enough to kick and get that yellow stone out.
What do you like, Greg?
Draw for one.
No, not really. I mean, I can see just enough, and it's moving enough, but I'm just not sure what Pack's going to do. Like, I know it puts him there with the. Well, what else would I throw? Yeah. Do you think it's there? You guys think it's there? Well, it's a matter of whether this 4 goes far enough. That's the question.
You can see this from the long angle here. I really don't think it's there. I think these guys are trying to will away to find a shot for two,
What
but
happens if we nose?
it looks like the nose hit won't leave them shot. So going for the two, it's kind of all or nothing. You're either gonna get your you're going to get a chance at 2 or you're going to give a steal of 1. So I think the only real shot here, the draw for 1, touch a piece of the button, and keep this game within reach. Still, a single point here.
Where's my tolerance?
Does cut the Shuster lead in half, and lots of time left in the game here. So certainly the smart call in this situation. Final rock. Brady Clark needing a piece of the button for a single point here in 5. John Shuster leads 4-2.
Line, boys. Stay with it, Matty. Yep. Yes! 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 I hear you. Come on, let's go. Come on,
The
Nick.
run, the flip.
When you say line only, I hear you.
And that stone just took a right turn. Sweepers had to get onto it. Single point there for Team Clark. They just managed to catch enough of the button, out counting the Shuster Yellow Rock. Now we're headed to our 5th end break here at the 2015 USA Curling Nationals. Joe Calabrese has a special guest with him, Steve Brown.
Thanks, Jerry. Steve, welcome to the webcast.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
So you recently returned from Finland with Team USA at the World Wheelchair Championships. Tell us a little bit about how that went.
Actually, it was a pretty fascinating trip. I mean, there was some good, there was some great. I guess there was probably some bad and ugly in there, but overall, we got 6 very valuable qualifying points for the next Paralympics in Korea. So that was a big thing out of it. And some other good news, I mean, we finished a place ahead of Canada. Scotland, perennial medal winner, actually got relegated. They have to go back to the qualifying. So we're happy with some of the results, but at the same time, at one time we were 4-1 and looking really good. So, it's got to be a little disappointing for, the team to be that close to being in the, that medal round, but not quite getting there.
So what was the final record of the team?
4-5 was the final record. So 5th place and 5th at the Paralympics last year. So we're right there in the fringe, and I think our experience level is going up every year. We're learning a little bit more about strategy. They've been in the world situation now a few times where they're really close. So I think we're ready to break in there.
So you would say that the state of the wheelchair program is really good. Is it growing? What's participation like?
Actually, it's growing significantly. This year, for the first time, we not only had our 5 that were on the world team, but we had 4 other people that were actually considered part of our developmental program. So we're getting increased competition. It's really growing from that standpoint. And across the country, we probably have about 40 active participants in club curling across the country right now.
That sounds great. You talked a little bit about qualification points. Tell us about that process a little bit. What do those points really mean to our program?
Well, just like for the regular able-bodied Olympics, you got a 3-year cycle here where you're accumulating points. And the key was this year to obviously stay in that top 7 of the rank, because if you end up 8th, 9th, or 10th, and for example, like Scotland finished 8th, and boy, they have to go back to a qualifier in Finland next fall. And if they don't make it, they probably got no chance to get to the Olympics. So by finishing 5th, we got the 6 big points, and we're automatically back in the Worlds again next year in Switzerland. So, there we hope to improve upon our finish and get into the podium there.
That sounds really great. You're here in Kalamazoo, and you've got some double rooting interest involved. Both Erica and Craig are doing really well this week. I suppose that means you're watching every single draw. What's the stress level like right now for you?
It's kind of crazy because, I left Finland, I don't even know what it was, about 72 hours ago. It took us 28 hours to get home en route, and I'm home for like a day and a half, and then coming over here and trying to battle the weather to get here. And now today I only had 4 draws to watch, about 12 hours of curling.
Well, hopefully things will slow up a bit as both teams look poised to make the playoffs. Erica's already in. Craig, I think, gets in with a win. So things looking pretty good for the Brown family. Thank you so much for joining us here. Hopefully we'll catch up with you a little bit down the road.
Very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate the rep stream you guys do. I watch it every chance I get, and you guys do a fantastic job. So keep it up.
Thanks so much. All right, let's get back to the action.
Taking a peek here at Dropkin Gemmel. Corey Dropkin, his junior team, taking on Dean Gemmel. Dropkin leading 3-2, playing the sixth end. Gemmel with the hammer.
Whoa.
Into skip stones here.
Whoa.
The duct tape express.
Go crazy, go crazy, go like crazy, go like crazy, go, 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 go.
A really nice shot there. Hit and roll across.
Good as you can do, I think.
Split the rings, try and set up a deuce here. That shot accomplishes two very important things here for Team Gemmel. They're either going to have a chance for two, they don't remove that yellow stone, or if Dropkin is able to come down and make the double, Dean will have the hit and roll out for the blank, and he'll get another chance with the hammer in the seventh end.
Nothing crazy.
So action on the feature sheet's getting back underway. We're going to stick with the side-by-side through the end of the Dropkin Gemmel end.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Clean. Whoa.
Clean.
Clean.
Yep. Whoa.
Whoa.
Yep. Yep. Whoa.
Dropkin makes the double. These young kids playing really well. Not sure they know where they really are right now.
1001 on that one. He wasn't missing.
They've been all over. And 3 days after this is over, they're at least the skip is on his way. So, on his way to Worlds.
50-50.
Yeah, he's the fifth player with Team Myers then, I believe.
Probably a 70%
Yep.
shot.
Yeah, Team Myers probably,
On a good day.
I think most people would consider that an upset in the final.
My shoulder, so you can
Dropkin went undefeated throughout the junior championship, only to lose the final match.
Yep.
But that's when all the chips are on the line. You got to win them all.
Clean.
A little bit of Bill Stopera commentary in the back. You could just leave his mic open the whole time, and I think it'd be
Would be highly entertained. So, Gemmel blanks the sixth, going to take the hammer into the seventh, down 3-2. I'm going to go back to the feature sheet here. Schuster up 4-3 over Clark.
What?
You can see the scores there on your left. Pustovar in control after 5 over Holupchuk, 6-1. McCormick has a 4-2 lead over Corbett.
It's got to be fairly high. Hammy's one of the best double peelers in the biz.
stop.
It's hammer time. No, well, can't double peel yet, so he's got to wait for.
That was just a reference to Brady was talking about good positioning of center guards to make sure that those double peels aren't made in the future. You know, you can tell when when a team has a weapon in front of them and they're already they're always bringing it into consideration as well. Yeah. Matt Hamilton, Hammy they call him, is probably one of the best in the business, making those double peels go away.
Quick.
So a bit of a mistake there from John Landsteiner.
10.
So Clark gets to hit this hit this stone, try to roll towards the middle.
Yep. Whoa, whoa. Yep, yep, yep. No.
Get this, try and hold this in the forefoot.
Got off it hard for a half second, and that's all it took.
We behind the tee on the roll?
Yeah, it's going to be just dead on the tee.
Then you either got to hit and roll or you got to peel. I think you got to peel.
Yeah, let's peel. Right on the top, Matt. Half rock. 2/3 even.
Matt Hamilton with the double peel attempt. He may even get the one in the house.
Yep. Yep. Hard. Right to it. Right to it. Right to it. Right to it. Shot, Matt.
Stop.
Hammer time. Every time you see him, the hammer just so hype.
Fortunately, that's about the only lines I know.
I win the MC Hammer lyric battle.
Hard.
Every time.
There you go.
Off.
So, double peel made.
I don't want it in.
Clark trying to set up a guard here on his stone on the edge of the 8.
Nope, Greg. We don't need to cover it.
He's more concerned about having the guard than having it cover shot stone.
Yeah, make it. Roll to the corner's fine.
Him, he just has to make a single peel this time. Might try to catch the one in the 4-foot as he goes by.
Oh. Yep. Oh. Yep. 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 Hard. John, roll. Roll, John. All right, roll it. That's okay. Good.
Stuffs it. Rolls the shooter out to a corner guard position. Now Brady's going to throw another guard on his shot stone. I think we're going to see this until Shuster somehow rolls one into the rings.
Line's a little tight. All right, you're good. You're good. You're good. At the end, you're going to go. At the end, you're going to move it. Yep, let's go. Come on. I want 2.5. Come on. Yep, more. Yep, more. Hard. All right, good throw, Greg.
Nicely done. Exposes the outside half,
Hack. Hack.
but no more.
Solid hack.
So we can go after that rock.
So Tyler George having
Whoa.
little trouble here today
Off,
at 56%.
Right off. Right off. He's trying though. Close. Whoa.
So he's hanging out a bit.
Whoa, Matt. Whoa.
Stick in the house on the side 12.
Throw time.
Brady sort of smiling at the luck there. He's hanging out there. If it had rolled out, Brady could have come under that guard again. Now instead, he's sort of stuck hitting a rock that's not very offensive, but can come into play later.
Yep. Clean.
So far, all the little rolls, the little
Off for a
inches
bit.
seem to have gone Schuster's way.
Clean. All right, you're good.
This one sticks in the 12-foot behind the tee line, and
Now, John.
This way here.
Yeah.
All right.
Schuster's going to ignore that stone. It can help him as a catcher. It can help him as something to freeze to.
A little more.
Their rocks have not been curling at all here.
Okay.
Must have switched stones around a little bit.
Easy then.
Really pulled back.
Just a mile of room. Right off. We're gonna have to bury it though, so. Yep, no. Yep.
Makes a sudden move across the center line.
Straight to the stop. Go, a little more. Whoa. All right.
Pretty well done there by Tyler George. It's almost nothing showing. I think Clark's going to come down, try to sit on this stone. Taking a look at the scoreboards, Corbett got 1 in the 6th. Now trails 4-3 to Heath McCormick.
No.
Myers and Brown tied at 4.
Until far hog line.
Myers picked up a single in the 6th.
Thinking 10.
Duct Tape Express.
Maybe get there.
Gemmell still trails 3-2 after a blank. Yeah, our hashtag is not TESN though. Our handle, we're gonna have to work on that.
Yep.
12th End Sports.
Clean.
Wait only. Wow.
Well, Off. Are you sure? Yep.
So,
Gotta keep that angle.
Brady looking to come down on this. I was hoping a corner freeze. Instead, he sort of hits it more nose.
Still shot.
Schuster still shot stone.
Yeah, either that or we can play hack at it. Either that or play hack. I mean, we can roll it. We can make this with hack.
Yeah,
But he just gets a freeze
pretty
again,
much
no?
give him the freeze or the double.
That's fine.
Then.
Okay, let's freeze that.
You like here at all?
No, it's, you get it too good, and he makes us double and sits. Let's go right here. This is
Really
okay.
got to make that good. Okay.
Well, either one. I mean, we're taking the same room for both.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Jeez, that's lots of ice.
Plenty faster too.
Okay. Yeah. So, trying to bump him. If it's hanging, we can go right to ours. If it's curling up, we'll just freeze theirs. So, 5.
So John gives you the explanation what the call is.
Just short of it. 1 inch off of it.
Line's good.
Right here.
Line's good.
Whoa. Okay, right to the broom. Line's good. Whoa. Easy, guys. Just 1 inch short. Don't touch it. Okay, stay close. Yep, yep.
No bounce. No bounce. No bounce.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Really good, John. Great shot.
Lines up almost frozen to the Schuster stone.
Think we can come around it?
Yep.
The other shot is to play the chip in. But,
Go this way.
we could. I think we play this. If we tap it, I mean, if worst case we tap it a little. Yeah, we can't really do that, can we?
No. You want to go here?
Yeah.
Or do you want to tap here?
I think we come in there.
So those were the two choices, either
Like
the
Broom?
out-turn draw or the
You're
in-turn
playing
tap.
fairly close to that one, eh? Not close, but. Okay, gotta go in there, right to the top button.
Yeah.
What did I throw last one?
You were back 4.
Yeah, definitely.
120 or 10.
It felt real close, guys. Please stay close. Yep.
Whoa.
Well,
Brady's so polite with that request.
we're tight on line.
Please.
Yep. Whoa.
Whoa.
Oh, a little heavy.
What did I throw?
Try to use close to nose possible.
Schuster has a chance here now for 3.
I think you gotta play board just in case it tickles this one.
Right. For sure. So, as close to nose as possible.
Yeah.
They do cut once you get to the center line, so.
Yeah. I don't think you really need to get that close to nose. I think the angle actually kicks it farther this way. The more you get of it, the more it's going to
So you
pull
think
towards
it's
this
gonna
rock.
be okay.
I think you want to hit about 2/3.
All right. Right there then.
Okay.
Jeez.
Board.
Yeah.
All right.
Just thinking about how straight these are. Looks like but that's okay.
I think you're good here. We can hold it.
Yeah. As long as we hit our yellow, I'm pretty sure we're scoring 2. If they hit it right, we're going to get 3. Just board.
Ham, go on this one here too.
So John Schuster with his last stone looking to make a short angle hit to sit 3.
Yep.
Yep.
Take a 7-3 lead.
Forget it. Forget it.
All over the guard. They're just going to take their 1.
Oh,
And Schuster just gets a single here in the 6th end. It's going to take a 5-3 lead over Brady Clark. Clark is going to have the hammer going into the 7th. It's take a quick look over on sheet D. It's their alternate game. No, we're not doing that, I guess. There's nothing happening there. Tell them that. Brian in my ear saying, there's nothing going on yet. All right, well, over on sheet B, there's something going on. Myers is calling a timeout. It's a mess of stones over there. And we have no microphones on B. So we'll have to kind of interpret what's going on down there. If you can see the situation, there's 3 brown stones. I think they're first and second. Third probably belongs to Myers. Brown's in a really good position here with another stone in the top 8 foot. Myers trying to figure out how to get in there.
A Shuster win and a Brown loss would clinch first place for John Shuster. Hammer throughout the playoffs, I believe.
As long as they don't lose the 1-2 game, I would suspect.
I always wonder what the rules are on that, depending on how many games you have ahead of the second place team. I think there is some consideration over whether it's tied, whether the team has a 1-game or 2-game advantage as well, as to whether they get hammer and stones, just choice, and whether that carries over into the final as well.
So Myers still talking it over with their coach, Linda Christensen. So still in Vice Stones here.
We'll look there at Team Brown from earlier in this game. Ethan Myers back in the house.
Quinn Evanson throwing a soft weight shot into the pile here. Got to sweep it to get it by a center guard. Redirects.
Not too good. They seem to like it, but I don't think so.
I think they may be second shot. It's close. But the angle seems lined up to push them back.
Yeah, still lots of rocks to go in this game yet.
Yeah.
In this end. Looks like 3 yellows back behind the sheet. Would mean only 2 red left to play here yet as well. I think for Brown, even though red is second, red is probably third shot right now. Just a little hit and roll on top here really closes this end down. The Myers team is in big trouble right now.
Yeah, you know, it's a lot of yellow in top of the tee line. And Croy has been at the top of the second position all week.
This shot here, you don't want to hit it too hard.
Vice position all week.
You don't want to hit it too hard. You want to actually keep that red stone on the side of the 8 foot as a catcher as well.
Just by.
Oh,
boy.
Jail.
Yeah, this is not looking good. What you're not seeing even above this shot is that there's guards. Maybe Brian can pan up a bit.
Yeah, so there is no way to just come down and smash those those Yellowstones either.
Which might have been an out, but there's nothing there.
and you can't even run those guards back either because they
they're
are overlapping.
They're staggered, so the only other guard out there doesn't belong to them, so that doesn't help. Not a lot anyway.
And Brown looks like has 2 angles at that red stone in the back too.
Yeah,
He can play yellow on the left-hand side there. That yellow stone in the 4-foot, sitting about 11 o'clock, and that red one he could make that. He could slash the double in on the other side.
Up in your upper left-hand corner, you're back. That's the feature game. But this is just too interesting to not watch. So Myers coming down. Looks like they're going to try to play off their own into the pile. Trying to maybe stick something there that's tough to remove.
If they can catch it thin and crotch those 2 yellow stones, the one biting the button top of the 4-foot and the other one biting the top of the 4-foot there. If they could ever redirect it, crotch right in there, they may be able to get 3 or 4 of those yellows moving and have a chance of getting out of trouble here without giving up too big of an end.
Yeah, I think their biggest hope here is that they can somehow wedge their stone into a spot that's tough to get out.
This game, you can see the scoreboard on the left-hand side there. Myers Brown currently tied at 4. Brown with the hammer. We're into skip stones here. 7th end. Even giving up a 2 here is not the end of the world for Myers.
Myers doesn't like this. It's going to be on the guard. Peels it out, and Brown must be salivating. That rock there that they were trying to do something with.
Now you make the double.
Yeah, you may be able to make the double, sit right there. And
yeah, the triple is there too. BA in her ears. Maybe even draw it up for us. He could actually hit this shot just a hair off nose on the outside. Keep his shooter in the edge of the 12-foot there. And may count it as well. 2 brown stones to come here. Throwing the yellow rocks.
Brian likes drawing arrows.
And that would be the Myers team walking off the sheet
Could be.
After handshakes.
That could be. Brown makes 2 good ones here. It's all over.
Over in our feature game. Red stones thrown by
Clark.
Team Clark. Sitting 2 of them in the top of the 4-foot. Clark with the hammer. Some nice angles set up over there right now. Shuster throwing.
Here's Brown's shot here on sheet B.
Not quite.
Makes the other double.
Still sits pretty good here for Brown. Lying 1st, 2nd, 4th right now it looks like. Looks like Brown will have a slash on the other side. Yellow onto red to make it go away.
Brown is scoring this end. I'm just going to put it out there. There's just nothing.
Looks like the shot, I think, for Myers is to probably come down, just a light tap weight, and maybe a hack to board weight. Just try and make a nose hit on that yellow stone on the other side of the 4-foot there. All he's trying to do at that point is to sit 3rd, or sorry, it'd be 4th. I guess his other yellow would be 3rd, but to try and out count and make it tougher for Brown to get more than 2. At this point, if Myers can get out of this end with 2 or less given up, it's a good situation. I don't quite understand this call, to be honest.
Yeah, if he draws down to the tee line here, I think both his stones could be gone with the next shot.
Although, it's the same thing. He could actually come down here, get more of the button than the yellow stone on the front, and he'd sit second shot, but the little slash that Brown has on the other side it'll remove both stones.
Yeah. Brown has a really good chance to score something like 5 here. Plus, there's a guard they have to navigate over here. I think they're cleared it fine. Now they're sort of into the pile.
Yeah, they weren't trying that draw around. They were just trying to move stuff around on the front.
And, Brownie's sitting 1, 2. This is going to be the hammer coming up. There's still that long guard out front that's sort of causing a little bit of trouble.
I think the shot right here is to throw some peel weight at the I'm not sure, I think there's a shot there. You could drag that in. Goes yellow onto yellow, pushes the yellow across. The drag effect will kind of push the stones a little bit to the left, coming closer to the nose of this stone on the button, back into that red. It'll probably push the red out of the 4 foot. Not sure if it'll go much further than that. Maybe into the 12. And then they'll count 3 or 4. The issue there, though, they're likely going to end up stuffing that red stone on top here. They can get to nose of it, but there won't be a lot of momentum following through on the next stone. So he's going to have to throw this one pretty hard. Stone's coming down the sheet. There goes. Nice movement. Gets them all going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And a shot for 7 is made. It's now 11-4.
Crooked number on the board. I expect to see handshakes and those red arrows.
Could be
directing Team Myers out of the game.
That's the handshakes right there. What a shot by Craig Brown. Set up by 6 or 7 really good shots beforehand. And Brownie improves his record.
So big weight shot there from Brown, and that stone did drag far enough to kick that back red stone well out of play.
So Brown sits 6-2 now.
No, let's just make it good. Don't worry about anything else.
So Shuster throwing.
Schuster's throwing the yellow stones.
His second stone. One more Team Clark stone to come.
I think you got to go on this one.
Schuster leads 5-3 here. Currently sitting. Looks like shot stone back of the button, but it's in a bit of a precarious position right now.
Hard! 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 Whoa, 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 whoa!
Yes! Gotta stay in front of it! Go!
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Oh.
It's not enough weight on.
Looks like Clark has the in off here.
You like that?
If you hit the in off and then hit the one in the back 4, you might score 3 here.
You can do this too.
You can stick it.
Whichever you like better,
Yep.
whichever one you think's easier.
That rock's buried, Greg, isn't it? It's edge to edge.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the little redirect in off. They were thinking about drawing or playing a tap back there, but
Firm up.
I've seen some rocks curl a little bit. So you, what are we, half rack?
so it looks like he's going to play the slash rather than the in off.
It's a pretty steep in off.
You like that? You like that?
I think you got to hit this thinner than you think, though.
Yeah.
Quarter
Big shot. If
stone.
you want to talk about the broom, let's talk about it. Don't just sit there. Okay.
Shot here for Clark to take the lead.
Quarter stone.
Firm up, 7.5.
Redirect it in. Want to try and stick it on the yellow stone. 4-3. And the lead here after 7 ends.
Harder!
Just too much curl here.
Yep.
Schuster will steal a single point, it looks like.
And so,
and escapes by the skin of his teeth.
yes, he does. And it's going to take a 3-point lead going into the 8th end. The pre-registration for the Arena National Championship is currently open. The event will take place on July 16th to 19th in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Please remember to register your club's interest by March 13th. Contact Jenny at the USA Curling National Office with any questions. Oh no. Team McCormick watching from the comfort of their room, their Deerhead room.
Looks like they had the beach scene on the other little laptop there. Dreaming of Jacksonville, maybe.
Maybe. So Pustavard's final over on sheet E, 9-2. Holy buckets. 7-banger. I'm happy we were able to jump over to that sheet. That was an exciting shot.
Yeah, it was well set up.
Yeah.
Nice, what do you call that? That's a big word that I can't think of right now. Foreshadowing.
There you go. It's BA being prepared.
Premonition. Yeah, a little premonition there by BA. Not only do they cover the curling, they know what's coming.
So Corbett and McCormick. McCormick blanked the last end there. So after 8, it's still 5-3. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's not true. They took 1. Sorry, so it's 5-3 after they took 1. So Corbett does have the hammer in the 9th. Gonna have to get creative. He's got a corner guard out there, but it's not looking too positive just yet. Gemmel still trails Dropkin 3-2 after 3 consecutive blank ends.
15-9, go, 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 come on. All the way in, all the way in, all the way in. Good feet.
Back here.
So Clark looking to come around
A little tight.
corner guard.
Nine's fine.
It's a little heavy.
I don't mind 9. Yep. 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 Right back to a 9.
Just gotta feel. Lead. Yep, yep.
So up in your upper left-hand corner, you have Corbett and McCormick. McCormick had originally thought about slashing a long cross-house shot from a corner guard instead, making a very short run back here. Makes sense. Gets rid of that stone. The corner guard's still there for Corbett to come around.
So for those fans of massive tiebreaker scenarios and all that good stuff, things still in play here. Pustavar's win over Mark Holubchuk drops Holubchuk to 5 losses. Dropkin was able to hold on and defeat Dean Gemmel. Gemmel would drop into 4-loss territory. Dropkin would stay alive at 4-4 as well. Both possible to drop to 5 losses in the next draw. And then, of course, McCormick, Corbett, one of those will drop to 4-4, and would also need to lose their last one to drop into 5 losses as well. So, how many tiebreaker draws will you guys cover?
Whoa, whoa.
We'll be here for all of them, however many there are.
I believe they have instituted a new WCF rule this year.
Good try.
It does save your life a little bit. Only 1 tiebreaker draw.
Ah, nice.
So
2.5.
they're doing double shootouts, the 2 draws to the button, to put a little bit more importance on the number of draws. So teams will be eliminated as far as I would imagine they're following the same rules for the USCA
Got a little more room this
championships.
time.
I'm sure Terry Kolesser can
Gonna have to
confirm that
finish it.
for us. But so only 1 tiebreaker draw would
Walk it over.
happen in
Gotta
that
walk it
situation
over.
then.
Come on, got to get this thing all the way over.
And that would be the highest ranking
Come
shootout
on.
teams.
Yep. Harder. Harder. All right.
They left 2 tiebreaker slots in the schedule, Jerry.
1 for the women, 1 for the men.
That makes sense. There we go. Okay.
Because the men would come off the 8 a.m. draw and
So
would play their tiebreaker at
4 p.m.
4 p.m., while the women, if there is a tiebreaker, would likely play at
Noon.
At noon.
Yep.
And of course, yeah, there isn't one, so we've got a break in the draw.
Yes.
You're fine.
Sorry, folks, we're not going to be broadcasting anything at noon, likely.
Guard.
Thursday.
Really?
Yeah, that would be
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah, we're almost to the end of
Thursday?
the round robin here.
Today is Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday.
Oh my goodness.
See what happens when you
When
go
you're
to
having
a-
so much fun.
That's right,
The
when you go
days
to a
fly
curling
by.
Not even sure what day it is.
I'm never sure what day it is.
Got to get it working. Come on. Hard. Hard.
Hard.
Come on.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
Right down.
Yep. All right.
Little mistake there by Plies in the picture-in-picture, trying to come around and hit shot stone.
Firm.
Winds up clipping it, leaves it as a corner guard on the other side of the sheet. Now Corbett has a chance to draw around that corner.
Clean. Yep.
Sit 2 in the house.
Clean. Whoa. Clean. Just clean. Clean.
Clean.
Yep. Yep. Heavy clean. Yep. Right to it. Right to it. Lance, you actually have to roll that. All the way out. All the way out.
So Clark still has that corner guard to come around, and he's going to try to play a draw. And Derek Corbett with a nice draw around that corner guard.
Yep. Line. Yes.
2's
line.
looking pretty good here for Corbett in the ninth end.
All right, we're good. Yep. God, I thought that was moving. Yep. Got to go all the way now. Sorry, Greg.
Barry's pretty well around that corner guard. It's going to force John to peel it off.
For Shuster right now, it's just a matter of managing the scoreboard.
Straight off.
You know, it's kind of thing. You know, you'll see some teams they'll try and play the run back here, the double. There really is no reason to do that at this point with a 3-point lead. Just take 1 stone per throw. At worst, then you'll give up here is 2. They'll have the hammer playing 9 and be totally in control of the game.
Clean.
Clean.
Yep.
Yep. Hard.
Clean.
Hard.
Clean. Yep.
Hard.
Yep.
Right
Clean.
to it.
Clean. Clean.
Okay.
Good.
So peel's complete over on sheet A. Corbett's trying to decide whether to freeze to the stone that was just thrown by his brother or come around deep on a rock that McCormick just threw.
I'm a big fan of the freeze here.
Yeah.
Going out to the wing.
Gives you a chance at 3. It's the only way you're going to score 3 in this end. It does bring in the risk that if McCormick makes a run back double,
Okay, put 'em
but
even.
it's not a gimme either.
Right.
You wanna force, especially when you're trailing by a couple points this late in the game. You want to force the other team into making some tough shots.
Right. Good, and they just threw this. I mean, although Brandon is righty and Derek is a lefty, it just did see this turn.
Greg, help. Yep.
Bit of a tough start for the McCormick team this weekend, or this week, I guess. But they fought through, and they can hold on to this game against Corbett. I'll put them at 5-3 and squarely in contention here.
Yeah, they lost against Brown and Schuster in 2 of their first 3 games, and sort of have they sort of had the top of the schedule first. Now they're sort of playing some of the teams that are in the pack, and they've picked up 3 wins out of their last 4.
He's probably got the best mustache foot profile shot in the event as well.
Oh, this is deep by Corbett. Winds up, I think, 3rd stone.
I believe shot stone is the one under the corner guard. 2nd stone is the one on the other side. And I think the red stone probably is counting in the back for 3rd.
Yeah. It was alert to make sure they didn't bounce open.
Schuster with a hit and roll underneath here. What a beauty.
Nice shot. So Clark's all he's left with is little draw bump.
Yeah, I didn't even think much about this. The other option, he could have played the double and try and roll out for the blank here as well.
Yeah.
But, you know, not an easy shot. He's happy to try and take a chance at
scoring his point here.
Yeah, scoring his point and trying to get back into it without the hammer.
He's always without the hammer. The hammer's playing on the other team.
Yeah, the hammer belongs to Schuster all the time.
That's right, exactly.
It's really about throwing good back button weight here. Let the sweepers finish the job.
This has got a curl.
Looks like it's going to sail him by just too much weight.
Doesn't move it enough, and Schuster steals another. It's up 7-3 after 8. I don't see the commander shaking hands. He's going to soldier on. Meanwhile, McCormick just making his decision now as to what to do with this Corbett stone that's behind that guard.
Yeah, it's time to get on down here to the Wing Stadium.
That's right.
The entertainment has rolled in for the evening. I saw a nice little two-piece set being set up out front. Play a little bit of music.
They were scheduled to be playing right next to us, but they had to move.
They got moved. Yeah,
they got moved.
Yeah,
but
it's, the bar here has been busy this week. I imagine it will get busier as teams start to be eliminated. Fires the first one through. That's probably the garbage stone.
This rock from McCormick looks pretty good. Gonna pick it out. Or not. Doesn't pick it out. Oh, so we just got word from Terry Kalesser that we have not adopted that tiebreaker rule. Have to be teams have to be eliminated on the ice.
So
Ty Mageddon is still on.
Ty Mageddon. That's so dumb. Don't say that word. It's not a Geddon anything. Because when it's a Geddon everything every week, it's just loses its effect.
We don't use it every week, only every couple of years. So
yeah, but so does everyone else.
Snowmageddon. I can't be responsible for everyone else, Jerry.
Polar Vex Vortex-ageddon.
So
Rain-ageddon.
Corbett here trying to contemplate whether he should just hit this for 1 or if he should try something crazier for 3. Looks like they've decided to just play for one.
And it looks a little bit intriguing to think about that thin double there. They'd have to be careful that they didn't hit it on the side, because it may jam into the pocket there. But,
right. They'd have to sort of hit it so that their rock wound up
kind of stuck and maybe spun towards
spun towards the rest of them and just stop somehow before it's a tough shot. And this is a much easier shot. He can get his one and then try to steal his way through an extra end.
Whoa.
So 2 corner guards up here for Team Clark.
Whoa, never. Nope. Ah, my fault, man. Sorry.
Hamilton trying to slash double the guards.
Not quite good enough, but still one at a time. To be honest, and I don't really like that call in this situation. Shuster with a 4-point lead. It's shots like that will, you miss it just a hair a little bit wide and you flash the peel.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, they've got 2 guards up and, a chance of scoring a 3. And I've seen it happen many times where, a big lead like that, a 3 goes on the board, then you see a steal. It's such a huge momentum turn. Whereas, for Shuster, if they're just up there, they make the single peels every time. They're not going to give up more than 2 in this game. And they'll walk away, handily as winners here. So I sometimes like, especially against aggressive teams, I know Shuster likes to kind of go for it in those situations, make those big shots. Against teams like that, I like to leave those corner guards in a position where, if the guy gets a little greedy,
to make a mistake,
he might make a mistake. And you know what? Clark is a pretty thin chance of winning anyway. So if they make that double, so be it. But
right.
I think you slightly improve your chances by kind of giving them those little teasers.
So on sheet A, Corbett made the hit and stick. He's now trails 5-4, and McCormick has the hammer in the 10th. I haven't given you a Gemmel Dropkin update in a while. Dropkin stole 1 in the 8th, leads 4-2.
Yep.
Playing the 9th.
Yep. Clean. Easy, just clean. Clean it, clean. Throw tight.
It's like Dropkin's got pretty good control out there. Redirects a number of stones out front. The Battle of Stopera.
Father-son.
Yeah. How many times I've seen father-sons out here.
It's one great thing about our sport.
Yeah.
It crosses generations. You'll see a lot of times in club play where you'll get 3 generations on the ice.
Yeah.
At your local bonspiels and stuff like that, and it's a great family sport and keeps everybody keeps families connected, and it's great to see both them out here on the ice.
Yeah.
And I imagine there's some rivalry out there too.
Yeah, I'm sure that they worked it out so Andrew was playing this game.
And I believe Andrew and Bill are playing in the Club Nationals together.
I think so, yeah.
And I believe they won a spot out of the GNCC.
Yep.
So, that makes it even more fun too.
Yep. Playing together. So over on sheet A, McCormick made a nice tick, moved a stone off of the center line. Left there is a little bit out there. And peel of shame coming.
Looks like it's grinding. Yep, let's get it to a 7. Want a little help? All right, I'll take it.
All right, boys. I got it, Craig. Hard.
Peel of shame made on sheet A. And Corbett's got to decide if he's going to try to put up another center guard or if he's going to come around. It's early enough in the end, he's going to put another center guard up. His big problem right now is that center guard is is just too halfway. It's not a 3 exactly. It's not a 1. It's pretty much a 2, 2.25. So this one's going to have to be pretty high in order to create some separation.
Yep. Hard!
Hard.
Hard!
Oh boy. Hard! Whoa, John, roll it!
I think in this spot you're better off going in. You might as well put a good stone in.
Yeah. And winds up being hogged. Paul Little with the hog stone, and now McCormick can rip this guard. Going to be an uphill battle now for Corbett.
What are you guys thinking now? Where's my tolerance? Chloro?
Double peel everything out of the front here on sheet A. Looks like Gemmel's going to be forced over there on sheet D. Dropkin has a chance to sit 2 in the house.
Clean. Clean. Don't lose it. That's fine. Just rather not.
And Clark sits 1.
That's clean. Sure. Normal? Yeah.
Schuster can pick this
Well,
out.
half rock gives it a chance to curl.
I don't know what Clark does. Down 4, coming home. He probably wouldn't want to blank. Probably want to take 1. Get a couple center guards up and pray.
I can see half the rock.
Brady's curled pretty good here, so.
Yeah, I'm going to throw solid for.
Okay.
So we're switched over from sheet A to sheet D.
Sweet. Yep, hard. Hard. Hard.
This is going to clip the guard
Sorry, guys.
on main sheet, and Brady's going to get a free draw for 2. In the upper left, Gemmel has a nose hit for 1.
I'm telling you, that spot's moving. I wanted more brittle mine back in the other hand. It's
Let's get her 2 and play
Nicely
out.
done.
Right.
Gemmel gets his single. He's going to be down 1 coming home.
Last one was a 4-0.
Dropkin will have the hammer. Little bit of a mistake by Plies. Didn't peel out completely. Left a guard out on the in the 8-foot for Corbett. So Corbett has a chance to now establish another center guard.
Come on. All you got to do is get house. Come on, boys. Let's go.
It's okay. Whoa.
Commander converts, and
Whoa, whoa. Right off.
A little concern there.
I think they were looking for the perfect freeze.
yeah, they jumped it. I thought, oh yeah. Damn. That's really moving. I wanted more when I was talking to Greg, and Greg said, because we just seemed to straighten it out a lot late in the games. But that spot, I thought I'd thrown it reasonable, that peel earlier in the game.
Yeah.
Anyway, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Should have made my
Well,
first
the crazy part is like even and I'm playing the board waiter. Like if I'm putting room here for a draw to go here.
Yeah.
It's just so hard to like to commit to throwing board weight in that much different line on a line that doesn't.
I know. It's interesting. I
wish that the final didn't have to be on this sheet.
Some great camaraderie there between the skips on the ice, and you know, it's always great to listen in to them talk and discuss, and they're sharing the idiosyncrasies of the ice and the rocks and how it all moves and stuff. Yet at the same time, you know, they could meet again later on in the playoffs too. So you know, it's a great thing about you know, how our sport really involves that kind of camaraderie as well.
USA Curling seeks to cultivate a safe and positive environment in which all curlers can excel. USA Curling Safe Sport Handbook and links to the USOC Abuse and Harassment online training, which can be accessed by USA Curling members free of charge, can be found at the Sport Education section in the USA Curling website.
Perfect tick there, looks like, on sheet D. Yeah, that's right along the edge of the foam there.
Oh, man.
Oh, Mr. Stopera. Dad just letting... Oh, Andrew Stopera with the
good
brilliant
timing
tick.
right there.
Dad not happy about it.
Not at all.
Oh, boys. Hey, Herb, can we stop the
Not
clock?
touching. Well, look at that real quick. I don't think it, but.
Can you stop the clock for a second?
Oh, man.
It didn't touch. It's just so close. And then never
They're going to take a look. You see over on the bottom corner.
Kid hasn't made one all year.
Tell your son I don't like him at all.
Oh,
of course,
my.
you got, you had the fun camaraderie, they're talking over on our feature game there, and of course now sheet D, they're living it up between the two teams.
Sort of hamming it up.
Hamming it up.
And Hogstone here by Clark.
That's probably going to be the end of it.
Yep.
I think just even with this is good. Well, just even is best. So, it looks heavy, eh? Heavier than that.
Looks like Schuster's gonna play the tick shot here.
It's a little lower now. That's okay.
I noticed that the angrier that Dean gets with Bill's son, the more Canadian comes out.
Yeah, Dean born in, I believe, North Vancouver. Grew up in southern Ontario in the Niagara region, and has been kind of all over the place across the country as well.
Yep.
Lived here for a few years in Kalamazoo.
Whoa.
Yep. Yeah, that was he's since
Whoa.
he went to school in Quebec.
Whoa.
In McGill and represented Quebec at a Brier.
Sorry, Andrew. You threw it well.
And then eventually moved down south of the border, and yeah, Kalamazoo was one of the locations where he's lived and kind of helped. I believe he was part of the first group to get the U.S. Nationals to come down here.
Let's go for a high one.
And was pretty excited to play in it when it did happen.
So meanwhile, Andrew misses the second tick attempt.
So you gotta go. Yeah, it's good. Okay.
We're never going to be able to give Bill a microphone again.
Just over. It's over. Just clean it. Just over.
It's kind of thing, this isn't the feature sheet, so sometimes they don't realize that they're part of the broadcast at the same time. Apologize to everyone out there for the little slip of the tongue.
If you like Bill Stopera, I got great news for you. He's going to be our fifth end break guest tonight at the 8 o'clock draw.
You know what? Why don't you keep him on for a whole end while you're at it? Because
I'll have to run that by the boss lady. I don't know. We'll see. Dean's going to be up here calling the game with me.
Oh, man, yeah, you got to get them both on for a little bit. You know what? Bill's one of my favorite guys in the game. I remember last time the event was in Kalamazoo in 2010. I had the pleasure of coaching. It was Team Hames at the time, and Dean and Bill and Martin were on that team, and I believe they nicknamed him the Idiot Savant.
Like what? Fall on the ground and...
Nobody's having more fun right now more than those guys are.
And I think the nickname is self-explained to everyone at home by now.
Intern, yep.
I kind of fell in love with Bill's game in Philly when he could miss a shot about as bad as he possibly could, and then with his next shot make a shot that was just impossible to make up for it.
Yeah.
Good.
The double peel. Both go away. Yeah, that center guard was just not well placed, and Left a pretty easy double peel for the Dropkin team. Over on our sheet, 1 stone in the rings. The feature sheet, sheet C, Clark and Schuster. Schuster leading 7-5.
I gave it a little too
Has the hammer here, and right now Clark's just guarding his lone stone in the rings. Schuster will continue to peel and likely have an open hit for the win.
So we have handshakes over here on sheet A as McCormick has defeated Corbett.
So that improves Heath McCormick's record to 5-3. Corbett drops to 4-4.
I think there's going to be a pretty significant grouping here at 4-4 and 3-5.
Mark.
All sort of battling for that last spot.
Good news is we got that corner. 416 again, huh, boys?
So Clark trying to guard that 1 stone again. This is over curling.
You can go a little bit. You can go.
And Schuster should be able to rip this and say goodnight, Gracie.
It's got to be by that thing. It's got to be by that one.
Yeah, it's got to be past that one, guys. Okay. Now we got it. Like this?
Up to you.
Heel. You don't think so?
On the feature sheet, Tyler George makes the hit, rolls a little bit to the middle.
Clean.
Gotta imagine Brady's gonna have to use that as a guard somehow.
Nice throw, Tom. Real clean.
Gonna have to come in here.
I think you just ignore shot stone. Draw in, don't even worry about sitting shot here. You're gonna have to get some sort of a miss out of Schuster anyways.
I'd like him to throw against 2.
Yeah, let's throw against the loss. I'm with you.
You know?
Yeah.
Put some pressure on him.
Yeah. Maybe a hair less, Billy.
So what Bill Stopera there is talking about is the goal here, when you're down 1 without hammer, your goal the entire end should be to find a way to lie 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because when the opposition skip is in the hack with his last stone, and he's only facing a single counter, the pressure is a lot lower than if he has to face 2 stones in the rings.
Right.
You have hammer, you're up a point, coming home. You got to feel real comfortable in that situation. You feel like, hey, we're in the driver's seat. And then you go sit in the hack for that last stone, and for the first time all in, you sit down and you look at it and you say, there's this little tiny bit of doubt that can creep in.
Yeah.
I could lose this.
Yeah.
And that mindset, it can really change a skip's mindset into, some strange things can happen in that spot. So,
yeah.
If your team...
Your routine is different than it is every other time. You've got in your head something that isn't what you would normally do.
Yeah. Yeah, it changes. It's just like a light switch going off. So, it's a great way to look at it. Same thing when you're down 2 without the hammer. Your entire goal, the whole end, should be to find a way to sit 3 in the rings. Don't worry about having them buried, because it's going to take some pretty big mistakes for something like that to happen. Just find a way to sit 3. And now here's the situation.
Coming around top.
It's well buried there by Gemmel, but that guard's pretty long.
I don't mind Dropkin actually just throwing a draw here.
Yeah.
He's probably going to need to draw on his last one.
It's not like that draw's, covered on the 4 foot. He has the whole 8 foot to draw to.
Yeah, just take a lot of ice here and just try and draw a corner freeze to it. You don't even need to come anywhere close to the guard.
I don't mind either. Yeah.
Looks like he feels like he can see enough of it. I think he's going to throw about hack weight at it. Try and tap it out of the rings.
Hack weight. Hack? Yep.
So Brady Clark staring at his last stone. 2 Shuster stones in play. He's got one that's just barely biting the 12. Somehow it's going to have to make a double and stick and then get a miss out of Shuster.
You want to hear it?
There. Yeah, it looks good.
The stones sort of look naturally jammable.
Clean. 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 Close. Clean.
Whoa.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Clean. Clean.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa. Clean.
Clean.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
Whoa.
Oh, just sneaks by the guard.
Middle, boys.
Great shot. He's going to roll into the middle and
Boy, that roll not
I don't
great.
think that much.
yeah, but Gemmell has to deal with it. And you got to
Yeah.
remember that Dropkin doesn't have to stay on his last one either.
That's true.
So big difference here between a tie game and and having that 1-point lead. So
Brady Clark tries the double, doesn't get it, and Shuster is going to win that game.
looks like that will be an 8-5 final.
Yep.
Shuster lying 1 in the rings. That one will count.
So Shuster improves to 7-1, top the standings, and ensures that he is going to be in the 1-2 page playoff game.
You can get it done.
Feel you a little, just a hair, yeah?
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Want it less ice.
And I believe that also clinches his spot. 1 draw left for the men. By favor
Like a
of
little
his
tight guy,
win
you gotta
over
go.
Craig Brown in the round
Where's the weight?
robin, Shuster will have
Yeah, go then. Gotta
hammer.
go.
It's not heavy.
Gotta go.
Gotta go for
Gotta go hard. Hard,
Looking to
guys.
freeze right on the face of this stone.
Where is it? Go hard line. Gotta go line now. Hard. Hard. Hard, hard, hard. Go, 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 go.
just
Okay.
a little bit of an over curl. Drop gonna be able to come down and just hit this with some big weight and make it go away.
Yep.
Doesn't need to stay in play.
Hey, John, you gonna tell him or we tell him after the game?
All right, boys. Go. Let's make it good.
It's a pretty big shot here for Dropkin. Makes it, he stays in the championship run here.
We'll give you a little update on the standings and what things look like for final draw tomorrow morning.
Clean. 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 Clean.
Nicely done,
Picks it clean. They all go away.
and blanks the end and wins the game 4-3 over Dean Gemmell.
Nice game.
And Jerry updating the standings frantically. And here we are. John Shuster 7-1.
Maybe-
Craig Brown.
Maybe BA can throw
6
them
and
on the
2.
screen. Can't choose to. We'll go over them for you.
That's
Sorry,
all
Joe,
right.
go ahead.
Heath McCormick 5-3. And then it's a log jam. Brandon Corbett, Dean Gemmell, and Corey Dropkin all 4-4. Brady Clark 3-5. Mark Lubchuk 3-5. Paul Pustovar 3-5.
All those 3 and 5 teams still alive. Brady Clark has to play Ethan Myers. Clark could get a win to get to 4-5. Dean Gemmell plays Shuster. Gemmell could drop to 4-5 in that situation. Brandon Corbett faces off against Paul Pustovar, who needs a win to get to 4-5.
And if he does, that would drop Corbett to 4-5. So, and then Corey Dropkin. Who does Corey Dropkin play?
And Dropkin gets Craig Brown.
So
Brown could drop Dropkin
to 4-5. So none of the teams that are 4-4 and 3-5 play against each other,
So that could
except
be-
for one. There's one, and that's the Corbett. Not Pustovar.
So if everything goes,
Yeah, at any rate, anything can go to a point where everybody's 4-5.
so if everything goes right or wrong, depending
Depending on your
on your
explanation.
role within the event, that would result in a 6-way tie for 4th place. 3 rounds of tiebreakers to sort out the one team to advance to the playoffs. So thus far, only one team eliminated from the event going into the final round-robin draw here at the 2015 U.S. Curling Nationals.
How exciting is that?
It's great. It's great.
Everybody alive except for one team. But pretty good show here. So we're back again at 8 p.m. for the final women's round-robin draw, and that's going to be a feature game of Erica Brown versus Nina Roth. There's 3 games that really matter in terms of who's in the 1-2 game versus who's in the 3-4 page playoff game. Brown versus Roth is one of those games. Lang versus Christensen, which is the 2 teams that are directly affected by this, playing against each other, and Sormanen and Burt over on sheet 5. So
yeah,
Sormanen's still alive to get that 1-2 spot also.
Yeah, and the one other thing about that setup is should Sormanen clinch her spot in the 1-2 game, she would finish no worse than 3rd place here at the Nationals and would earn her berth to the World Championships in Sapporo, Japan.
So a lot of folks going to be very interested in that game, and hoping the other folks that are involved in this are really hoping that Burt shows up tonight and gives Sormanen a loss so they're still alive in that world's berth. So that's going to do it for our 4 p.m. draw. We're going to be back at 8. Like I said, we're back with Erica Brown and Nina Roth. For Jerry Gertz and Brian Anderson, this is Joe Calabrese. We'll see you again at 8 at usacurl.org.
Usually I'm on the wrong side, so it's gonna screw me up no matter what. Okay. I don't need to know the hat is coming if you know it's coming. Flood bits, yes. I don't mind that.
Especially if you hear, if I do it, it's just because I'm used to it.
I don't get offended with my something.
Yeah, I got an axe to it and doesn't work. By Rudy. That hat was sitting there all the time when I cover it. Next time it's damn near tough. The very next time.
I'll be back in 48 seconds.
Blaine? How are things going in Blaine? Yeah. That ain't a bad position to be in.
What's that?
I wish I could be that.
Yeah. I don't get much trouble if I stay out of the way.
Well, 50% of the people are always happy with you and 50% hate you.
Yeah. They're usually pretty happy when I'm actually there.
That's the good part.